Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brett Figueroa Show, where our aim is to move, to motivate, and to inspire you into ultimate greatness. So before we begin here today, I want to just take a moment. One is I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day, your busy schedule, your busy night, whatever time you might be listening or watching this video. I just want to take a moment and just again thank you for bringing yourself to our show, and where our aim is to really just make sure that we can provide value, to provide an idea, a tool, a tip, a strategy, a something for you, for your family, for your business that you can take and use either personally or professionally. And I also want to wish you, wherever you are in the world, I want to wish you well. You know, for the past 2 years or so with COVID, I mean, a lot of people haven't been well. You know, I think we know that. They've gone through such difficult times for so many people, and with the quarantine and lockdown, and you know, there's so many repercussions that people have dealt with over the past couple years, and it just felt that for my own personal self, it's my responsibility, it's my due diligence to really just bring what it is that I can bring to the party, to maybe somebody that's watching this today. Maybe there could be that spark inside of you where it's like, okay, it's time to step up into the plate, step up to the plate, step up into the game, and do something great for maybe it's your family, or for, you know, you got loved ones, or for your own self, right? To really bring yourself a full game. So today's going to be a lot of fun. So we, again, welcome you to here with us here today on this amazing, awesome Tuesday here in beautiful Colorado, and wherever you are in the world, again, wishing you well. So today we're going to talk about the one subject that for many times people, they're like, whoo, can we just talk about a different subject? Because we're going to talk about taking action. We're going to talk about taking action, right? I mean, hey, for many that are watching this video, it's probably for some it might be your first time with us, and for others you might have been with us for for quite the journey. And but for those that really watch success, study success, read success, whatever that is, whatever that medium is that that you bring in success and you learn about success, it all comes down to action, right? I mean, you and I have seen it, sometimes the smartest people, right? They've been to the greatest colleges and they've read the finest of books and they've had the best of this and that. But the biggest challenge for many is to get himself into the trenches, to take that action, to really dig in, to dive in, to roll up their sleeves. And for many, they're just waiting. It's like, almost like life is a dress rehearsal. Can we just rehearse this thing? Dude, it's life, bro. It's in action. There is no dress rehearsal. This is what it's looking like. This is how it plays out. They're just waiting for something to happen before they jump into the game of life. As soon as this happens, we're going to talk about the as soon as myth here shortly. And I just want to share, it seems that for sometimes people in life, right? I remember years ago I was doing an event, and back when we could actually do events, and hotels and different mediums and what have you. And I remember I started an event. It was a 2-day event. It was titled Breakthrough, and we'd start on Friday night, and Friday night would start at maybe 6 o'clock, go until about 1 in the morning, maybe 2 in the morning, depending upon what part of the country. And then it would reconvene at 9 a.m. the next morning, go until maybe 6 o'clock or what have you. And so when the event starts, we welcome everybody, and hey, welcome to tonight. It's Friday night. Welcome to the Breakthrough event. We're excited to have you with us. And then we'd go start into content. We'd start some different exercises, some different experiences, and then a couple hours later, I would say, hey, I want to take a moment. I want to welcome you, to the event. It's 8 o'clock at night. It's so-and-so date. The event has started. And then a few hours later, I'd say, hey, everybody, welcome to Breakthrough event. We're excited to have you with us. It's, 11 o'clock at night. Excited to have you with us. And, this is welcome to the event. The event has started. And there's a lot of people in life, they sit in the back row of life, right? They're just kind of in the back row, like any audience has a back row. Now, there's a front row, a middle row, and then there's a back row. And many times, depending upon where one might be sitting, in the back row, they're kind of waiting and, hoping and anticipating, like, when's the event start? Maybe because they have an idea that it's supposed to look something different, feel something different. It's supposed to, be this way or that way. And I let people know the event started. It's already in play. Jump in. I would do that. I would do that with people throughout both Friday and Saturday, because for many, they're just waiting. Kind of like in life, they're waiting for something that they think is supposed to happen before they actually just smack down, double dog down, and jump into the game. And so, the game is it, man. This is it, right? It's called life. We're in the game. So what's your as soon as? So I want to talk a moment about as soon as. And I remember for myself, for the longest of time, I was so guilty. I was just waiting for something to happen. I wanted to write a book, and so I was like, as soon as this happens, as soon as I do enough research, as soon as it's sunny outside, then I'll go outside and write. And, as soon as I learn more of this, or as soon as I learn more of that. And I felt myself, I was always in this as soon as place. And you might be able to relate, maybe you've got something in your life right now that you have an as soon as. As soon as I get married, then I'm going to really be happy. As soon as I get a divorce, then I'm really going to be happy. As soon as I have kids, wow, that's really going to make my life. As soon as my kids move out, that's even going to be better. As soon as I get this education, then I'm really going to get after it and write that book. As soon as I write that book, then I'm really going to step into my life and really step into success. As soon as I get that book published, as soon as this happens, as soon as it quits raining outside, as soon as it starts to get sunny outside, as soon as this and as soon as that. So think about, what is your as soon as? What's the barrier of entrance? It's interesting with COVID, because with COVID, it kind of gave us this universal excuse to not necessarily need to do too much. Well, one, because we couldn't, right? We're in quarantine, and, as soon as COVID's over, man, oh man, as soon as COVID's over, forget about it. I'm getting after it. I'm going to tear it up. I'm going to dog down, double down. I'm going to go out there and make something great happen. As soon as COVID, there are some people, there was a group of people praying, right, for COVID to end. Oh, please, COVID, end. Right? Others were praying that COVID would never end, because that meant, man, oh man, I got to go back to work. Man, oh man, I got to do it like I said I would do, which is to, go out there and make something great happen with my life. As soon as COVID ends, yeah, but if it ends, I got to bring that to fruition. So just think about, what is your as soon as? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What's in your life that you say, man, if I were to actually get after this and do this and make this happen, right? Are you waiting for happiness to come to you, right? As soon as the spouse comes to me, I'm going to be happy. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting as soon as, marriage, or as soon as some education, or as soon as you get that job, or what's your as soon as? That you look at with real full authenticity and being genuine, as soon as. Well, what if you were to let the as soon as go and just dive in, just to make it happen, to get it done? And so I recognize in writing a book, and I've written 3 of them, and they're all a pain in the butt to do. I remember Tony Robbins say, it's like, I would rather have teeth pulled out than write books. You got to sit, and you got to write, and you got to think, and you got to do all these things. But I could no longer wait. I knew that the world needed to have my books. I knew the world needed to have a message out. And the world needs your message. The world needs your ideas. The world needs your action. The world needs your happiness. And this is not the time to hold back. And as soon as this happens, then I'll give it to you, world. Then I'll give it to you, spouse. As soon as my spouse loves me, then I'm really going to throw myself into my spouse. As soon as my spouse starts doing things that I really like her to do or him to do, then I'm really going to give myself. What are you holding back? What are you just not throwing out there that if you were to, man, oh man, life would be so radically different? For not just you, but for your family, for friends, for loved ones, for the people around you. So let's just look at a few quick things. Number 1 is what you're as soon as, right? Clarity is power. If you've watched my shows, you've heard me mention that. And the reason why many don't have much power is because they don't have much clarity. And so the more clear we are, the more power we have. Power is the ability to take action. Again, power is the ability to take action. And so you've got to look and go, let me get clear. Let me get, I think, straight. Let me really look at this head on. Let me quit making some big giant story or some giant excuse about how someday it's going to kind of sort of happen, possibly this week. I'm not sure if it's this week or next week. But, most are just kind of hoping and wishing and praying that it's almost about ready to soon begin to happen at some given point in time down the road. Not sure when, but I think it's this Monday. And if it's not this Monday, it's definitely next Monday. And if it's not next, it's definitely at the top of the month. That's it. Draw a line in the sand. And if it's not at the top of the month, it's definitely, we got a new year coming. That's the time you make resolutions. So if there's ever a time to start, man, oh man, that's probably the best time, New Year's, right? Maybe the time is now. Maybe the time is today. Maybe the time is to stop looking at the different things as soon as this happens and as soon as that happens. Number one is to get clear. What's your as soon as? And what kind of story are you making about that as soon as? What kind of story are you making where it's actually, in your own head, it's real? Where many times it's not real at all. It's nothing more than a way for us to avoid, to really get after it, right? So number one is get clear. What's your as soon as? Number two is what are you avoiding, right? What are you avoiding so much that you've actually got a story in place called as soon as this happens, then I'll start doing that, right? Then I'll be happy. Then I'll get after it. Then I'll make a move. So what is your as soon as? What are you avoiding? It seems that for most, it's all about fear. We would much rather, come up with a story, an alibi, a justification, an excuse, a something than take the action, right? Because by taking the action, there might be some fear involved. There might be some disappointment involved. There might be some fear, there's some rejection. There could be whatever that is. What is it for you? What are you avoiding? Get real clear. And what are some of the things that you're doing right now that are actually, where you're actually avoiding? So many times, and this is a whole different topic, but many times we're not really clear if we're avoiding or if we're actually, am I actually reading a book to read a book, or am I actually avoiding doing something? And it's easier for me to perpetuate the illusion I'm actually, getting smarter by reading, but am I actually avoiding? Am I actually avoiding taking some action right this minute that can move me in the direction of my ultimate goals and my ultimate dreams? So just something to think about. Just, put some clarity. Number three is think about, what is it costing you? There's a cost for everything. There's a cost for taking action. There's a cost for not. There's a price that goes on with everything, right? It's cause and effect. Like, what's it costing you? So whatever your delay is, whatever your procrastination is, whatever your story is, whatever your alibi is, whatever your justification, it all comes with a cost. Someone's paying that cost. Someone's paying it. Maybe your kids are paying that cost. Maybe because you can't get yourself to take action, to follow through, to pursue your dreams, your goals, your outcomes, whatever those are. Maybe your kids are going to pick up the cost on that one. Maybe it's going to be a spouse that has to pick up the cost on that one, right? Because we can't get ourselves to take the action. Somebody's going to take the hit. Somebody's going to take a hit. Now, if you're okay with, keep on, making that hit and somebody else having to make that cost. And what is the cost of our own, emotional infrastructure? The cost of our own well-being by not getting ourselves to follow through. And so I think, what happens for so many people is they go to their grave, right, with all kinds of great ideas, great hopes, great intentions, great dreams. They got ideas that they've been toying with, and what a neat invention, and wow, I've been wanting to write a book, and oh, wow, I could do this and I could do that. Well, do it. Do it. I'm just going to be straight. I've had so many people along my way over my journey of doing this industry and doing this work for 27 years now. And in my early days, I just had to have people come at me and, hard, right? They don't come at you with a baby bottle and a rattle and a blankie and, want to protect your emotions. They're like, dude, step up to the fucking plate. Take the action. I don't want to hear any more as soon as. Yeah, but as soon as I get to be a better sales guy, then I'll start selling more. Dude, just go sell more, okay? Just go sell more. Just go make it. But houses aren't selling. Go sell houses anyways. Figure out a way, right? Figure out a way. So what is it costing you? Number 4 is, what action will you take? What action will you begin to take today? So today's all about action, right? So I want to invite you to today. Maybe there's a sentence, a phrase, a situation, a something where you go, okay, it's time. And I just believe that, the messenger comes when the student's ready. Maybe we have somebody that's out there right now that's like a student, and they're like, okay, dude, I'm ready. I'm hungry. I'm ambitious. I'm determined. I'm committed. I'm ready to go make it happen. Then make it happen. So what is that one thing that you can begin to do today? What is that one decision that you can begin to do today? What is that one action that you can begin to do today? That maybe before today you thought, well, as soon as this happens, then I'll take the action. Let's talk about dropping the as soon as, and let's just talk about taking some action towards the direction of your goals and your dreams. So who has some upside on that? You do. Your confidence, your emotional infrastructure, your family, your friends, they look and go, wow, look at that person taking the action. Wow, look at how they're really getting after it. And so I just think for so many, and again, I'm speaking straight from, this place here of a guy that struggled for such a long time with having this as soon as. And I just recognized that when I began to look at my family generations ahead of me, that somebody was going to have to come in through the grit of not having that go into future generations. And so I had to get really committed into my future generations and to look and go, well, my future generations are going to be affected by my actions that I take today, by my dreams I take today, by what I let go of today. My future generations are going to be affected by that. Now, for some, they're fine. They're like, dude, it's gone through our generation for 100 years. It's going through my generation, and guess, dude, it's going to go through the generations ahead of me too. That's just the way it is. The ball's in action, right? A ball in motion stays in motion till it's no longer in motion. And it's kind of like our habits and our behaviors. They stay in motion till they're no longer in motion. So I'm encouraging today to identify what that is. Draw a line in the sand. Enough is enough. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to get off my story, my broken down alibis, my broken down excuses, my situations that I think are true and real. When the fact is, man, it's all about taking action. You and I know that. And once you begin to take the action, then you can manipulate and massage that action to simply make that action even better. I have a friend of mine as we begin to close up. His name is Blake Newbar. And Blake's a young guy. He's 33 years old. Blake had a day job making, 10, 12, 15 bucks an hour. He was, sat in a box all day, did the traditional, went to college, got an education, then got a job. And he was very unfulfilled, very unsatisfied. And so he started an online digital business. He's now 33 years old. The guy's done $25 million in business. That's not bad at 33 years young. And he's done that in like the past 4 or 5 years. It's amazing. I recently did an interview with him, which you can see on my wall or see around some of the different platforms. And it's amazing. And one of the things that resonates with me and Blake the most, I would say, one is I love his ambition and I love his generosity and his commitment and his heart for service and to fulfill people and their dreams. But he has a mindset, and his mindset is what's called imperfectly launch. So he launches products and ideas and things into the marketplace, and he does it imperfect. He calls it the imperfect launch. And for most, there's, as soon as this gets done, then I'll launch. As soon as that happens, then I'll get launched. As soon as I get then I'll get launched. Blake's like, dude, just launch it, bro. What are you waiting for? You can massage it along the way. The great part that you and I live in today in such a digital world is there's really nothing fixed. Back in the days when I created an audio product, my first one, I had to have a box. I had to have them all individually packaged, and they had to have this, they had to have that. For the most part, it's not that way anymore. I don't really even know any people that really create physical products anymore. Now it's just digital downloads and membership sites and, templates and different places like that. So, all the excuses that you and I might have had back in the days, a lot of those really have diminished. So I would invite you to imperfectly launch your idea, your strategies, the actions that you need to take to really create great success. And so people have asked me over the years, how do you get your clients to get such great success? Because I've been doing this 27 years. We've got great strategies and ideas, yada, yada. But it's really not about that. I believe that for most people, they know what to do, but they don't simply do what they know. And they're stuck. There's a barrier of entrance. I know what to do, but I'm not doing what I know. I know. So here's what we're going to do, Bill. First of all, I don't work with people that don't know what to do, so that's great. You know what to do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get you to do what you know. How's that? Fair enough? Big gulp. Like, okay. I was hoping I could delay and put off and procrastinate still, but it doesn't sound like you're the guy that's going to let me do that. No, we're not. We're not. So what my job is always to take people that know what to do. Okay, Brad, I know what to do. Great. Now let's get you to do what you know. Drop the as soon as. Let that stuff go. You're committed to happiness in your life? Get happy now. You're committed to money in your life? Get money now. You're committed to opportunity in your life? Get opportunity now. You're committed to something out there? Go make it happen now. I promise you, it's there for the taking. It's there for those that get committed to their commitments. So it's more than just having a commitment, it's getting committed to that commitment. It's kind of just easy to say, yeah, I'm committed. But the question is, are you committed to the commitment? Our commitment goes far superior to education and information. We can have education and information all day, but if we're not committed to taking that and throwing it into something, then it kind of sits on deaf ears. It's kind of just hanging out there. And so I just want to invite you today as we begin to wrap up. One is just, again, identify. So let's just quickly go through. Remember, life's not a dress rehearsal. It's here, it's now, right? The curtains have opened. Come to the stage, right? And there's no dress rehearsal in life. It's here, it's now, it's present, and it's full. We've got to know that. So number one is, real quick, know your as soon as. Get really clear. What's the thing you got going on? As soon as this happens, then that's going to happen. No, jump in right away. What are you avoiding? What are you really, truly avoiding? Disappointment, fear, frustration. What are you avoiding by creating something that says, as soon as this happens? It's really an avoidance more than anything. Number three is, what's it costing you, right? There's a cost, as we mentioned, for everything. There's a cost to take the action, and there's a cost not to take the action. And someone's going to pay the price on the action, or someone's going to pay the price on the inaction. Your kids, your family, your friends, your loved ones, the ones you love so much are paying a price because someone's got some story about how it's almost ready to begin to happen at some given point in time down the road. Not really sure when, but I think this week, if not next week. It's coming up soon, I know it is. Let it be today. Number four is, what action will you now take? What action will you now take to begin to create the momentum? Everything's momentum, right? It's like a plane or a rocket, right? It's once it starts going, that's the roughest part, right? Once it gets up there into the stretch, it's got momentum, it's going, right? So that's what we need. So just know that the launching pad is the hardest pad. It's the hardest thing to do is to go, okay, start, and push that button, and the rocket fuel and the thing starts to take off. And when you and I watch that, we're just sitting there going, oh God, please be safe. So we want to invite you. So as we wrap up here today, we want to say again, thank you so much for being with us. For those that can join us, whether it be in our live broadcast or whether it be in a replay. And just to remember that, first of all, if you grab any ideas, you're part of our platform, please give us some love. Please give us some comments. If we've made an impact in your life in some capacity, leave a little comment. Our outcome is to get a message across to the world that, again, in these dark times, in these difficult times, in these challenging times, in this hard season for so many people, the more we can get the message out, the bigger impact. So if you love our work, give us a little love. If you like our work, give us a like. If you want to comment on our work, give us a comment. If you want to share our work, maybe you've got somebody, a friend, a neighbor, a butcher, a baker, a barber, a somebody that you look and go, this person needs this. That's the same person that keeps saying as soon as, then they're going to do it. Hey, we're going to get them to take action today. So again, thanks for being with us here today on the Brett Figueroa Show. We look forward to having you back with us. at any during our next show or during our next episode. But again, thank you so much. We love you all, and we wish you the very, very best of your success. And we want to again say, take today massive, massive action. Take care, everybody.